Well, I come from Republic of Georgia. I was born in Tbilisi. I studied there in the ballet academy until I was 15 years old. Then we moved to the United States with my family. One of the memories that I have from Georgia is me playing outside, being a complete tomboy. Playing football. I loved to just run and be outside all day, and it brought so much joy to me. Even though after the academy, long days of academy, and the ballet all day, normal subjects every day, I remember I was so eager to get home to go outside and play something that's really different from ballet, which is running, football, yeah, mainly running around with boys and wanting to be the tough one. I was 3 years old, and I remember going to the theater with my mom, with my dad, and literally sitting under the bar, like right here, my mom standing and doing class. And this was one of my favorite activities to do as a kid, to be in that environment, in the dressing room with her, of course, putting on her pointe shoes and giving her corrections, and basically being there all the time and actually watching the process of what it is. I didn't just see princesses on stage in tutus and pointe shoes and wearing tiaras. That was not something that attracted me. What attracted me was this work, the work ethic and working in the studio and this everyday routine and the class and, of course, listening to the music. And I think then I already knew that I wanted to be a ballerina. I wanted to be like my mom. I was watching my father dancing. I was still, I was 4, so I could witness him being on stage. And my brother also. I wanted to follow his footsteps in a way. And somehow, when I was 3, I really knew that I wanted to become a ballerina, a known ballerina. Of course, then I didn't realize that, one day my dream would come true and I would be dancing here in the Netherlands as a principal dancer. I was studying in in the private school of German Samuel and Valentina Mukhanova. They were teaching at the Royal Ballet Academy many years ago, and they had a school in Colorado Springs. So I was in that school. They were preparing me for competitions, Youth America Grand Prix and the Denver Ballet Guild and all the local competitions as well. So I got some prizes there. I got a first prize, I think, in a local Denver ballet competition, and the director of Colorado Ballet was there as well. And he had offered me a contract. I was 16, and I was shocked. For me, it was something so unexpected. Of course, there was no doubt. I took the contract, and I was one of the youngest members of the company, where in 4 years I became a principal after debuting the role of Aurora in Sleeping Beauty. And then I made the move to Europe. At the time, my brother David Makhateli was dancing in the Royal Ballet, so I was visiting him one of the winters. I knew that I wanted to change company because my director in Colorado also left, and I knew I had to gain experience and try other companies, bigger companies, wanted to be closer to home, definitely Europe. So at the time when I was visiting David, David Bintley was watching class. I was taking classes with the Royal Ballet, and he offered me a contract. He offered me a soloist contract, and I had no questions. I decided to move. Although I haven't seen the city, I hadn't seen the company, and yeah, I'll be honest, I was a bit shocked. It was not what I had imagined, what I had in my mind, and I really knew that from day one that it was not my place. It gave me a lot of experience to grow and to understand what I want and what I like. So I take that as a learning experience in my career. And actually, if I wasn't in Birmingham, I would probably not even make it to the Netherlands. So my next choice was Dutch National Ballet. And I came here to do auditions at the end of the season. I was lucky because the company was almost going on vacation. And when I called, they said, well, hurry, then come take class with us. So I came to Amsterdam. I completely fell in love with the city again. First time I ever visited Amsterdam was when I was 12 with my mother, visiting my brother David because he also danced here at the time. I literally really did follow his footsteps in a way, in a funny way. So I dreamed of actually dancing here since I was 12, and Ted gave me a contract. He offered me a contract, Grand Sujet, so of course, once again, I didn't have any doubts. And I decided to come here and see for 1 year how it goes. I didn't want to say this is a place, because you don't know, you never know. And you know, today I'm thinking that this is a place where I can call home. It's always very difficult to speak about the roles that, for instance, I can relate to, or my favorite roles, because each role has something special, something that it gave me in life, or the other way around. I cannot really say a role that really identifies me or I can relate to. I mean, from my life experiences, a ballet, La Dama Camélia from John Neumeier, it really stayed in my heart. And I can probably say it's one of my favorite roles. It was really a highlight to work on that role, to work on that ballet, to have the experience of working with John Neumeier. And it will forever stay in my heart. I was nominated for Benoit Prize for that role. So I just really hope that one day I'll get to perform it again somewhere. In my opinion, I think if I am more of an Odette or Odile, I think it really depends on the mood of that particular performance, because sometimes I think I might be feeling more like Odette or sometimes more like Odile. I'm not really sure, actually. I'm very feisty in general, so maybe Black Swan. That's a very difficult question. Which I find easiest to dance? Ballet is not easy, and nothing is easy, because you're just exposed in front of thousands of people, and especially in a classical ballet, any little mistake, and it's really, really visible. I cannot really say easiest, but what I can say one thing, that dancing White Swan, it's completely pure, and for me that is harder than doing Black Swan, even though maybe Black Swan technically is a little bit more challenging. White Swan has something in it that you have to make people believe that you are a swan. So this is something that I love experiencing each time I do Swan Lake, because I can discover more. I discover myself in a different way. So for instance, Balanchine ballets, yes, they are black and white ballets. Whenever I dance Balanchine, I feel like a fish in the water, to be honest. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm Georgian, just like George Balanchine was. But I really feel connected somewhere, maybe in the universe, and it just always brings me the memories of home. I think it's also in the steps as well. So this is all I can think of when I'm dancing Balanchine ballets. It really, really brings me home. In Hanselmann ballets, you think there is no story, but actually there is. There's always a story. There's always a tension. There's a lot about Hanselmann's ballets is that there is always tension between the couple, between man and woman. So this is what makes his ballets so special, that there is some intensity, and this is the intensity I think of, like either, you know, not fragile or powerful or strong or vulnerable. He has all of that in his ballets, and it's really amazing to be able to live through that. The worst disaster I've had on stage, this is quite embarrassing, but it was my premiere of Don Quixote, of Alexei Ratmansky's Don Quixote here in the company. Actually, I was not promoted yet, I was a soloist. And Tamas Nagy was my partner at the time, so we were already doing third act, and we get to the grandpa, and I go and I do a la seconde pirouette and penché, and my shoes were completely dead, completely dead. So I'm in penché and my foot just completely pops out. And I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do now? What's gonna happen? Completely, just like my partner behind me is standing. He's like, are you okay? Are you okay? Like, I'm fine, just my shoe is off, my shoe. So I try to somehow put the shoe on, but I need to, in order to do that, I need to open the ribbons because the shoe is out, but the ribbons are holding so tight that I couldn't slip my foot through. So I had to get off stage, and slowly the orchestra went like apart, fell apart, the curtain closed. I was so embarrassed. I was like, this is a disaster. I'm getting fired from the company, and that's the end of my career. So I get off stage. Ted, Rachel, everybody was running backstage. They were asking me if I was okay because everybody really thought that I actually hurt myself. But I had no injury, I didn't hurt myself. It was just pure accident. I don't know how it happened. Even today, it makes me think, how did this happen? And yeah, so I redid my point shoe. My partner was in complete shock. He still didn't know that I was okay. He probably still thought I was hurt because they probably thought I'm in shock in that moment. So the stage manager gave the cue to the conductor to begin from Adagio. So we started the Grand Pas from the Adagio, and actually audience really loved it. They took it so well, they were clapping. Anyway, for me it was a complete disaster, and I was really disappointed with myself, but it was something that I was not in control of, you know. So I went, after performance, I went home. I was really upset and not happy. And the next day, when I was coming to the theater, I thought, that's it. That's really it. And I was called into Ted's office, which I thought, really, Maia, this is the end. So I went up to talk to my director. And actually, I got promoted. I got promoted because I handled the situation so well, and for years I've been working up so hard to reach the level and become a principal dancer in the company. And I don't know, it's like this memory will be always with me. And it's funny how sometimes disasters can turn into a most beautiful thing. Interesting, yeah. So I dance a lot in Rome Opera, and yeah, it's interesting actually. I became a constant guest there. I performed Corsaire, Swan Lake with the company, also galas I do from Daniela Cipriani, Roberto Bolle. I think I was probably seen in one of the galas by Eleonora Bagnatos, the director of Rome Opera, and she invited me to do the world premiere of Le Corsaire from Jose Martinez, just before the lockdown, just before pandemic. And from that moment on, we have this engagement. I danced actually Giselle by Eleonora Abagnato. She made a new production and we performed in Cagliari. So I'm looking forward to working there again next season. Apart from that, I do have a lot of galas as well, also in Italy. I haven't had many international, let's say, big galas since pandemic. The last time I went to China was, I think, 3-4 years ago. In August, I will be going to Korea, to Seoul, to dance there also in a gala. It's going to be absolutely crazy because it will be 2 days and 3 shows. So good luck to me and to all the dancers, because everybody's arriving from different companies. This is something else that I want to mention. I always say they're friends from faraway friends, faraway colleagues. We always meet like this in the galas, and it's always so wonderful because to see each other, and there is some kind of bond we create, like this group, you know, so you always have a good time, and it's always nice to share the stage with amazing dancers, and it makes you grow, it makes you inspired, and I think this is so important for the artists. I think it's really a necessity. Also, I'll be going to Finland, and I'll be going to London, and yes, so I have quite a bit of guestings as well, and this season here is going to be very packed with Sleeping Beauty, also Balanchine, Swan Lake, and yeah, different triple bills for sight. So there will be a lot of work. Last night I danced again Raymonda for the end of season gala, the 60th anniversary. And you know, it was wonderful to come back to it because it's still, for me, it's fresh, even though I have worked on it for 2 years. We have been building this for 2 years in the company with Rachel, Ted, everyone else involved. I mean, it's not a ballet that I did since I was born, let's say. So it's not in my genes as, let's say, Don Quixote I've done so many times. I've done Corsaire so many times. Swan Lake so many times, and Raymonda is still somehow very fresh, and I can really still experience with it, you know. So I really love this ballet very much.